You're all set.
I'm on.
You're on.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Google Hangout with Keller Williams. I want to introduce myself. My name is Wendy Davis, and I'm the new team leader for the West Covina Keller Williams. So I'm really happy to have you all here with us. And I want to let you know that, moving forward, we're going to have Google Hangout once a month. And I would love to invite all of you to come back and, visit with us. Come and hear about some of the things the top agents in our market are doing, and that's what it's going to be all about. I want to welcome today Jay and Monica Diaz. They came from Century 21 and are now Keller Williams with us, and I'm so happy to have them here to share with us what, the changes that they made from, being in the business for so long and now going into, building a team with us, following the organizational model that we have to offer them, and following the MREA book, which is what we consult our agents with. I also want to welcome Frank Blitz. He's going to be interviewing Monica and Jay, helping us out today, and he is one of the reasons why we put together Google Hangout. He helps Monica and Jay with all of their marketing and has been very successful with it. So welcome, all of you.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Wendy. Great job. So I think probably how we can kind of get started. And obviously, if anyone's interested in learning more about KW and what they have to offer, and they would want to contact you, Wendy. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. So anyone that's interested in a real estate career, please contact me. Email me, wendydavis@kw.com. And if we have agents who are watching and are interested in getting more information on how they can start implementing the MREA model, give me a call, and I'd be happy to talk to you and mastermind around your business.
Cool. So Jay, we worked together for quite some time. Why don't you and Jay, Monica, you've been selling real estate for 11 years total. Is that right, Monica?
Yes, 11 years total. Mm-hmm.
Why don't you tell us the story about maybe kind of before you found out these models, before you met Jay, who really introduced you to a lot of these new methods. Right. Tell me how you built your business to start with, and tell me about that foundation.
Okay. Essentially, I was taught how to work, and in working, I mean actively prospect, actively go out there and search for business. I was a certified residential appraiser prior to this. My goal was learning how to speak to people, learning how to get business. And at the beginning, it was great because I learned how to prospect, I learned how to door knock, I learned how to call, I learned all of these things, scripts, and I think it was a great foundation for me. And as I started to move through the years, I guess you could say, like age has a way of creeping up on you, and you get, a little more tired, a little more weary, wondering how can I do this in a way that's more effective and more efficient. And in going to different seminars, going to different outlets, I would see these top agents doing enormous amounts of business, and I would always wonder, like, how do they do it? Because I felt like I was alone in this. I felt like I had to do all of this, and there was so much to do, and how do you get it done in a day, plus being a mom, plus taking care of everything. I mean, how do you do it and fit it all and not go crazy? So when I met Jay, Jay opened my eyes to a lot of different things, and he actually introduced me to the Keller Williams model. And in doing so, it's allowed us to actually have freedom in our life and to pursue other ventures, to actually create a life that we really wanted to have by creating a team, by having affiliates come and participate with us. I'm not kidding you. Like, the life I have now in comparison to the life I had, let's say, 5 years ago, night and day. Night and day. And I have freedom, which is phenomenal, because life is too short. One day we're all going to die and all this is going to be gone, and for what? You got to have a life.
Well, Monica, that's really interesting, and I want you to go a little deeper. Is that you got to this point where you wanted to do more business, and the only answer was that to prospect more, wasn't it, for the most part?
Right. And
can you tell us about that almost that breaking point you came to of trying to how to get more deals, where you tried to solve it through more prospecting?
Yeah, well, I mean, I would door knock 5 hours or even more. I mean, and there were days that I would just stay out there all day long and prospect and door knock and then come back and call. And it was interesting because I started thinking, like, how do people do this? How do they get business? How do they follow up with people? Because if you're prospecting that much more, how do you create the systems that are necessary to follow up with those people? Because it's one thing to keep prospecting and getting the numbers, because everything was about the numbers. You know, get the numbers, get the numbers, get the numbers, get the numbers. And then, yeah, you have lead follow-up, but then it's like, it's honestly, it's really difficult to be able to put all that in and then create more business. It seemed like I was stuck at this level that I couldn't pass because, you know, I'd prospect 4 to 5 hours a day, and then you have to go on appointments. You've got to deal with the negotiations. You've got to deal with the contracts. You've got to deal with all these different things. And it just seemed like there was only a certain amount that I could do without not being there for my clients. And that was the challenge that I had. It's like, how do I do more business and still be a great agent? Because I'm not about doing more business and then not being there for the client. Got to be there for the client.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
No, it makes complete sense. And that you pretty much topped out, you found yourself around 40 deals a year working by yourself. Is that right?
Right. I had an assistant, but, you know, the assistant only did so much and could only do so much. So it's difficult to create that business in a manner that you still look like a professional.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So you met Jay about 2 years ago, is that right? 2.5 years ago?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who is now your husband, is that correct?
Yes. My favorite saying is everybody needs a Jay Campbell in their life, because he actually saved, and I'm sure you realize this too, Frank, because he's helped you tremendously as well, when you can actually open up your mind to the possibilities, it's crazy what you can actually accomplish. And the great thing about it is Keller Williams and the models that they have, I mean, it basically is what we want to create and what we are creating, because we're in process. I mean, everything right now is process. And the cool thing is that, you know, like, honestly, Jay is the meat, and he's the one who actually has created the foundational business for us to be where we're at now. At this point, I know my scripts, I know what needs to get done, and then everything else, it goes over to Jay.
Now, Jay, we'll get to you here in a minute. I'm excited to hear your perspective as when you came into Monica's business. But Monica,
don't tell him everything.
Well, here's what I want to get with you, Monica.
Only for Keller Williams people.
This was a big shift.
No, I mean, don't tell him the bad stuff, only the good stuff. I was a mess behind the scenes.
Why don't you tell us what were some of the first things that Jay, as well as myself with the marketing that we were doing, what were some of the things that you currently implemented? You shifted, and I want to hear about how hard that was going and doing that when for so long you didn't do it or were told not to do it. And I want to hear about the breakthrough you had to have there, and then tell us about what were some of the very first things you changed when you decided I have to find another route to get more leads and grow my business and just prospect more.
That was for me, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You, Monica.
Okay. So yeah, what the challenge for me was, I was always taught that, you know, the websites, all of those things are not important. The digital part of it's not important. It's about doing your contacts. It's about following up. It's about learning your scripts. It's about being on your calls. It's about blah, 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 blah. So when Jay started presenting these ideas to me, I'm like, I don't think we're going to be able to, you know, do that much. And it's, you know, but I was at the point where I was, okay, I got to try something else out, because otherwise I'm just going to burn the candle at both ends, and I didn't want to do that. So he started implementing these ideas to me, and I remember him coming with these ideas and these plans. You know, we'd sit down and go over these plans, and I'm like, how do you do that? Like, I could not comprehend, because in the past I would say I am not a computer person, or I am not a digital person, or I am not. So, you know, I had a tendency of telling myself these stories that would not allow me to move past where I was. And with Jay's help, he showed me like these, you know, digital marketing techniques and things that he did in his realm before in the car business that worked tremendously for them. And then when we applied it to the real estate market, oh my God, craziness. I mean, because think about it. Right now, everything's technology based. I mean, our MLS is computer. You know, advertising, people are searching at home on their computers at midnight, you know, with their ice cream looking for properties. I mean, you don't have too many people anymore. I mean, it's very, you might have a small amount of people driving around looking at things, but, you know, are they qualified? Do they know everything? Most of the people are searching, Googling what's going on in the real estate market. And with Jay's help, we capture those people and we get to work with those people. I mean, just yesterday, I'll give you an example. Just yesterday, we met with the people that called us. They're not interviewing anybody else. They've read our reviews. They know that we're the team to work with because of the reputation we've built, which Jay's helped build, and of course, with us performing. And I never even knew those things were possible. I mean, I used to have to door knock, call. I mean, there was people that I would work with. I kid you not, following up, just checking in from time to time. 2 years, following up, checking in. Hey, I'm still in the business. What's going on? How are you? And it was like this process, and it just seemed like, okay, well, every now and then you come across someone who wanted to do something quick. I mean, now when we talk to people, they're ready. They want to work. They want to sell their house. They want to find a house. They want, and they will do something. And that in itself is huge in this business.
That's great.
Jump in here, Frank? So Monica, I have a question for you. Yes. So what are the top 3 things if you were to give everybody, an idea of the top 3 things that are working for you, that Jay implemented?
God, top 3 things. I mean, affiliates, digital marketing, and also just expanded thinking, because I was so close-minded on how everything looked. And, in the Keller Williams books, they talk a lot about that. They talk a lot about, your model, your business model, the levels that you can build your business, your teams. I know before we were taught, don't build these big teams, don't do this, don't do that, because, it's all about control. But when you build these teams and you bring people in, it's amazing. I mean, and the cool thing about it too is we want people on our team. We want people to grow and be the best that they can be. And if they go out on their own, so be it. But we want greatness, and it's just changed completely. The whole mindset has changed, and I'm really grateful for Jay, for Keller Williams, to opening up my mind. What I like about Keller Williams too is that there's continuous coaching, mentorship. It's not just about, okay, well, you reach this level and you're done. It's about, where can we go next? Where can we go next? Where can we go next? Mm-hmm. And it's really up to the person, because not everybody wants to go up the levels. You may be okay with level 2. You may be okay with level 3. We're, I guess you could say, type A personalities, and we want to move. So,
great.
Good. And we have that. That's what we're going to go through today with Jay. Is I think, Monica, from working with you, I think you had such a great foundation of great service. Mm-hmm. You built such an amazing database through your years of prospecting. And then on top of that, you shifted this mindset of, instead of having to find 100% of the time, you set aside some time to dedicate to getting found.
Exactly.
And we're going to talk about...
Which wasn't really me, because Jay's actually the one... He's actually the one who allows us to be found. I'm the one who, I've set up foundationally where we need to be.
Great. Well, that's all I want to share. So I think, Jay, let's talk about, if we can break down more specifically, I believe we have the database marketing. Correct. We have the online reviews. So I want to tell the viewers what we're going to go through here as far as examples of what they're doing. We have the database marketing. We have the online reviews. What are the other things we have set up for?
First off, hey everybody. I'm Jay Campbell, and I'm Monica's husband. I'm also a licensed realtor, but as Frank and Wendy have said, it's really Monica's business. I just kind of came in here in the back end and just started connecting dots and moving pieces around. But to answer Frank's question, we do a lot of stuff digitally. We do a lot more than the average real estate person. But from a standpoint of exactly specific, we get the majority of our businesses from the database. We do a lot of specific remarketing using 2 different CRMs. I use Infusionsoft, and I also use MailChimp from a newsletter perspective. We just built a custom WordPress site that took me almost 9 months of compiling data and getting all the data on there.
What's the link to the website, Jay? I'm going to share that with everybody.
Please. It's monicadiazteam.com.
Got it.
And we spent a lot of time on that. Unfortunately for a lot of realtors out there, there's a lot of bad website companies and development. They just give you templatized stuff. You really need a custom. Well, depending on the size, if you're just a starting out realtor, it doesn't matter. But once you get bigger enough, you really want to have custom optimization for your site. But that took us a long time. I'm very proud of that site. It's still new. It's not even 2.5 months old. So we're still doing a lot of stuff to optimize it on the web. In addition to that, as Frank said, we're really, really big with building our online reputation. We actually are using a new company that very few people even know about. My buddy's actually one of the institutional investors in the company. It's called Bird Eye, and I'll show it to you in a second. We'll share the screen, but they're a company that actually will go out and get every review that was ever written about you and collectively build a nice little optimized, searchable, and indexable website with all of your reviews. So like right now we have, I think, 110 or 112 five-star reviews between all the different companies, and that's, you know, Zillow and Google and Facebook and Trulia and of course Yelp. And then, you know, I would be remiss if I wasn't talking a little bit about Yelp. Yelp is a gigantic mover and shaker for our business. I knew, and for some of the people outside of California, it doesn't apply because Yelp doesn't have the mass that it has outside of California. But inside of California, Yelp is incredibly moving and powerful for the millennial generation. So I knew when I first took over with Monica handling all the marketing and digital that I needed to build a really strong foundational presence on Yelp, and we've done that. And Yelp is really actually very inexpensive. I mean, everything that you do on Yelp is free. You have to build a profile, and then you have to just go out and solicit reviews. But, you know, we've done an amazing job on Yelp, and, you know, I'll be happy to show my Yelp URL as well, too. But you can put a video on Yelp. You can do a nice little brand video. But we get, Monica, tell me, what do you think? We probably get a day between, you know, we get 10 website visits from Yelp a day, but we probably get 1 to 3 calls a day from people on Yelp who literally just say, hey, I want to work with you, whether it's a buyer or a seller. That's what they say. And it's crazy. You know, we don't even have to do an interview. Like Monica said, we went out last night to a family in Covina at 8 o'clock, and they saw our reviews on Yelp, and it wasn't a matter of whether they were going to interview other agents. It was a matter of when they were going to put their house up.
So Jay, did I hear you correctly? Did you just say that you get at least 10 people to go through your website through Yelp
a day
who are calling you to come and list their homes?
No, we get 10 people that visit our website from Yelp a day, but actually calls are between 1 and 3 a day. And it's not always to list homes. Sometimes it's to buy. Sometimes it's to ask questions. They're not always, you know, an active prospect. They may be somebody. We get calls for commercial too. I mean, we get calls for all kinds of stuff. There's renters, but you know, they just see our profile on Yelp and they're like, wow, I want to work with the Monica Diaz team.
Got it.
What I'm doing, everyone, Google Hangout has a new feature. If you see, I don't know if you see this, with the little yellow tags. There's a little yellow tag. If you roll your mouse over my face, you'll see a yellow tag. I'm actually showcasing all your online properties to the audience,
Awesome.
Jay.
Awesome.
So they could see here, your Monica. I have the Zillow profile showing. I have the Facebook page showing. I have the Yelp page showing, and I have the team website showing. I'm going to find some more of your stuff online for your videos.
Gosh, Frank, you're so technologically savvy.
Well,
yeah, show them our Google video, our YouTube page too, because I'll plug you guys.
Yep. I'm gonna go check. I'm gonna go grab all those and put those in the features. But you guys keep going, keep sharing what's working while I grab all this stuff and put it up for everyone.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Well,
So go ahead, Wendy. Go ahead, Wendy. No, you go.
It sounds like, you know, how Monica was explaining how for so long she was chasing these leads, you know, and it gets very tiring and doing the thing over and over and over again. You know, really implementing a marketing system like the one that you've set up, Jay, has really created something different for you where now you're not chasing the leads are coming to you, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. And before I say this, I want everybody, this is a disclaimer, and I've done this with, you know, Frank's audience as well. Monica does 0 active prospecting. 0. She does not make a single phone call during the course of the day.
This is pretty crazy. It really is true.
Jay won't allow me to door knock anymore. He didn't like it that I was chased by a pit bull one time.
but with that said, there isn't a realtor, you know, in all seriousness, there isn't a realtor in North America that I know of that can start out, you know, in their first 2 to 3 years and do something like that. Obviously, as Frank said, Monica built up a very solid foundation. Not just in scripting and her techniques and strategies and learning to talk to people and all that stuff, but she had a base of people, you know, that she had cultivated from door knocking and from all the other traditional aggressive, you know, grassroots marketing efforts. So all pretty much I had to do was take that data and connect it digitally and make it work for itself. And as like Frank said, you know, make Monica found. Realistically, what I did in the first 10 months that we were together was I spent a lot of money to get Monica's brand built out in a much bigger fashion than it was. And so From a marketing standpoint, if you're looking at the Keller Williams economic model, we spent a little bit too much in the first 8 or 9 months, but not really overall, because it's the bigger picture, which is what we're chasing. But the reality now is that Monica has a very, very strong presence in eastern Los Angeles County, and she's very, very well known and found on the search engines. So when I say she does no active prospecting, going back to what Frank said, she's prospecting 24/7, 365, because she's very, very widely availably found on the web.
And that's a really good point, because, making sure that we let everyone know, Monica put in her time to create her database.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Gary talks about, your database is your business. So being able to create that strong platform has given her the privilege to perhaps not lead generate with cold calls or door knocking, but being able to have such a large database that now you can lead generate through marketing.
Exactly. That's very well said. And let me just add, she does, of course, follow up with our database. She does talk to people in our database on a regular basis. Frank's actually started a company. Can I talk about that company right now, Frank? Are we good?
Sure. That's okay. We'll bring it up.
Okay, so Frank's actually starting a new company that we're going to be a part of as soon as we can get our act together with Infusionsoft. It's called 1000callsaday.com. And for people,
great name for a company.
Yeah, it's an amazing. It'll probably be a very, very, very profitable company in the long run. But
Frank's gonna adopt us.
For right now standpoint, I think a big opportunity for realtors, and this is for more established producer types. But even if you have a database, like Monica and I met with two. If you can believe this, we met with 2 first-year realtors. They're both Keller Williams realtors. They work in the Arcadia office yesterday. They wanted to just shadow us and have a lunch with us and talk to us about what it is we've done and are doing and have done. And in less than a year, they already have 1,000 people in their database. Okay, so this is a 29-year-old and a 30-year-old.
And the only way, by the way, that you can really legitimately grow a database is by prospecting. It's by calling people up there, documents, sellers. Right. But if you just add on there asking for the email address at the end, you can bring them in the database, you start sending your videos, stay in touch, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Go ahead, Wendy.
I'm curious, how big is your database? How many people do you have in your database?
So our database is like 11,000, but an actual active, viable, like these are the people with email addresses and I know who, birthdays and anniversaries and all that stuff, it's 5,200.
5,200. Wow. Great job.
How many of those are past clients, Monica?
Oh, you're going to ask me the hard questions. I'm not the data person.
How many homes have you sold in your lifetime?
Oh God. I would say probably in there past clients, maybe a couple hundred. I mean, I don't know.
No.
But the rest of those are buyer lead opt-ins, prospects, whatever.
Oh, maybe more. I mean, honestly, that was my downfall. Was tracking things. Jay's the one who has all that together. I don't know. Honestly, I would like to say I know, but it'd be lying to tell you I did.
Frank, there's actually 287 actual past either selling or purchase clients in our database.
Great. We have a lot of viewers on here, so I was going to jump in. If anyone has any questions for Jay and Monica or Wendy, feel free to use the Q&A option here on the Hangout. Just click the Q&A. They're going to show up and we can ask. I believe if you click the yellow tags, which is a showcase, I got your website showing, Jay. I got your Yelp, your Facebook, your Zillow, your Google+, a video from your YouTube channel, but it's not letting me add your YouTube channel. So if you have a chance, you got to see their videos. Go to YouTube, type in Monica Diaz, and check out the Monica Diaz YouTube channel. Jay, it looks amazing, by the way.
Yeah,
you did a nice job with that.
You guys have actually helped me, but it does look really good. I mean, obviously Monica is very good on camera, and our choreography and production has stepped it up too.
Cool.
I want to show you this bird eye. I think more realtors need to know about this company.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and share your screen, Jay?
Yeah, okay.
Why don't you go ahead and walk us through
the
psychology of you actually creating a lot of these properties for Monica online. And while you're kind of setting that up, Monica, so a couple more questions for you here to kind of put everything in perspective.
Okay.
Like you're still talking to people every day about real estate.
Oh, absolutely.
How many contacts are you still making every day? Whether it's a warm lead or a cold lead?
Honestly, I'm not actively, doing too many, maybe 5 to 10 a day. But online presence-wise, a lot more. But I'm always talking to people about real estate. I mean, even if you're going to the store, I mean, usually, that's one thing that I was taught that I really like is You know, when you go to the dry cleaners, these are people that you use day in and day out. You know, you put them in your database. You ask them for business. People need to know that you are in the real estate business and that you are the one to turn to when they have any type of real estate question. I mean, I'll have friends call me up and just ask me questions about the real estate market. You know, you want to be the resource.
That was really hard. We talked about that, how you were so your focus was 100% on cold calling people that strangers.
Mm-hmm.
And then you decided to pretty much entirely stop that. From what I remember, now you started calling your past clients and steering your database.
Yeah.
And that required like an entire shift of your approach. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, because you know when you call people, like now when I call people, it's so cool because they're like, "Hey, Monica, how are you?" And we have like a little conversation. And we talk about things, what's going on. I spoke to someone not too long ago. You know, I just check in with them from time to time, and they've grown to like me, they've grown to trust me, and they're so cute because you know they start telling me, "Oh, you know, we've had struggles with cancer, we had this going on, we had all these things happening." And then, you know, we talk about the real estate market. And, you know, sometimes those calls lasted a little bit longer than what I was taught they should be. But honestly, I'm not into that anymore. I'm more relationally, like, you know, I want to get into what's going on with my client. I want to see how I can possibly help. It may not be that somebody wants to do something right now, and that's okay. You know, some people just have questions that need to be answered, and I'm there. I want to be the resource for real estate. Anybody has a question, call me. I'm here to help. You want to know what your value is? Call me. I'm here to help. You want to know what the neighbor's house sold for down the street? Call me. You know, whatever it is.
Okay. All right, Jay, I have one more question for you, Monica, before Jay, you start showing us all this cool stuff. The last thing it has to be really hard for people to believe, Monica, is that you truly went from 40 deals topping out, prospecting every single day, working your tail off,
I know,
to doubling your business to 80 deals
mm-hmm.
and still in profitability going up.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Profitability going up and taking on all these expenses and
mm-hmm.
prospecting less. It just sounds to me like a complete 180. Is there anything you can share with somebody more about really why that has taken, how in the world that happens? Because that's really an anomaly.
Yeah, it is. I can't necessarily explain why because, you know, like there's oxygen. Why is there oxygen? I don't know. You know, it just is. My business doubled because I became more effective and more efficient because of Jay's help. I mean, why? How that happens digitally, and you know why? I don't know. You know, it just does. It is. It is what it is. I'm grateful for it, and you know, it's a privilege every day for me to be able to help anybody, whoever it is. So I'm just grateful that I've been able to help so many more people, and I can't say I because I'm not alone. I mean, we get to help so many people, and I honestly believe because my heart is in it more now, and it's not so much of a job like I have to do this and I have to do this. I honestly think I'm able to open up more sense that you want to help people. It's like I remember being told by somebody that, you know, when you're desperate and when you have to do these things, it's like you have commission breath. You know, it's all about what are you going to get. And it's not about us and me. It's about how can we truly help the client accomplish their goals. And I think coming from that perspective, now that I'm not so caught up in the numbers and caught up in I have to make these many calls and I have to do this, it's more about how many people can I truly, truly help today? How many people? And that's
cool.
That's just where my mindset is.
All right.
Can I go ahead and share something really quick? We're talking about marketing and being able to, you know, market to your database and really creating a strong database to begin with, right? So everyone that's on the call, you know, really think about what does your database look like and how are you talking to them? And one of the things that, you know, Gary writes in the MREA book is about being able to systematically market to your clients. And, you know, we have our 8x8, you know, dripping campaign, and we have our 12x12 direct in there. And, you know, I'm just going to read off of the book. You know, it talks about having 300 people in your MET database, which means those are people that are your sphere of influence, people that know you. You know, out of that, if you were to just implement a program, a marketing program where there's, you know, 8 touches consistently to that database, you should be able to get, you know, 2 sales per year. And if you were to implement, you know, your 12x12 direct for every 50 people that you have in your database, you can create one transaction. So the ratio is 50 to 1. And you'll have to have a database of 2,500 people in your database. So those 2,500 people are the people that don't really know you, and you put them on a 33 touch or a 12 by 12 campaign, and you should be able to get one transaction for every 50 people. So I just wanted to share that. And you know, yeah, I'm going to throw this out there. You know, when you meet with me, anyone out there who's, you know, interested in hearing more about this, and, you know, we can mastermind over your database, and I can consult with you. I'll give you the MREA book when we meet, and we'll go over it.
Hey, Wendy, can you just tell people what MREA stands for? Because maybe some of the people aren't familiar with Keller Williams and the books like all of us are.
Yeah, absolutely. It stands for the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And basically, Gary Keller wrote this book for everyone, not just for Keller Williams. When he wrote the book, you know, he wrote it with statistics from agents all across the country, and he put together these models that would work for anybody.
Yeah, and it's a great book. Anybody get it? Meet with Wendy just so you can get the book.
Hey, and this is Jay. Before I start showing you guys some of these doohickeys and widgets and whatnot, I just want to make a little bit of a recruiting statement for our office. I can assure you, having a lot of say in the marketing that's going to go on in this office, that our office is going to be very, very strategic and very advanced in its marketing tactics. That's all I want to say.
Woohoo!
Well, and I posted for everybody. Hopefully, you're seeing it's a brand new feature on Google Hangout. Hopefully, you're seeing the showcase over here. I posted a link to a video with Gary Keller and Jay Papasan on the concepts Wendy was talking about, a 33 touch and 8x8, so you can watch that. I also post a link to Amazon where you can go ahead and get yourself a copy of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. But if you call Wendy up and meet with her, she'll give you a free copy. So.
And you get to meet with Wendy. That's a privilege.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks,
all right,
guys.
Jay. So let's shift this over to your screen here.
So can you see my screen right now?
I can see your screen just fine.
Awesome. Okay. So. So anyway, this is kind of a new thing that I'm using. I've been using it for about 3 months now, and they're a company in San Francisco called birdeye.com. And what they've done is, I think they have one competitor that they say, but I haven't really found them to be competitive. But they'll take and compile all of the interviews that are found of you online in a neat little indexable, searchable website that they build for you. Right here. So basically what these guys have done is they've amalgamated or compiled every single review that we had in the last 2 years that is found online from Monica that's, you know, 5-star and up. And it's so cool. There's obviously tons of customization here, but you can set it up so that, you know, you get, I mean, well, they automatically do it for you, but you get notified whenever somebody leaves a review in multiple ways: texting, Facebook notification, email, pretty much any way you want. And they also will let you know if somebody reviews you in a very poor or negative fashion, and they actually will hold it in the queue until you can have some time to actually go and address it. So anyway, it's very, very interesting technology. These guys are very cheap. I think if you factor it out over the cost of a year, it's like $140 a month or $125 a month. I don't remember, but if somebody is watching this call wants to find out from these guys, I can get you a really good discount through one of the owners of the company. But I love them. So next, I just got signed out.
How much of your business? I'm sorry. How much of your business is going to come from online people calling directly from your online reviews, making the decision to hire you based upon your reviews this year?
This year, probably 65%. I don't want to give you an exact number, but somewhere in that range, about 65%.
It's a lot. I mean, you're getting a lot of come list me calls right from your online reviews.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. I mean, go ahead, Monica.
No, I was going to say, and the cool thing is that we work with the most amazing people. It's almost like it says underneath our name, you have to be awesome to work with us. It's so cool. I love it.
So I'm going to go really fast because, you know, there's probably some people out there watching right now that aren't as sophisticated, and, you know, their thoughts is, well, how's this going to benefit me because I don't have Jay Campbell working with me or blah, blah, blah. But the truth is that most of the stuff that I do, and Frank can attest to this is cheap and very, 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 very effective. It doesn't cost a lot of money. You know, Infusionsoft, I don't recommend Infusionsoft for somebody who's a startup agent, but for an agent that has a 5,000 person database, and you can see right here, you know, this is the viable database that we have right now. But for somebody like that, it's like $225 a month, and it measures and it will manage all of your data and warehouse your data, and then of course you can do campaigns. I'm not going to show you that stuff. but it's a very, very effective source.
Let's just say that's where you have your follow-up sequences. So if you're calling like an expired or FSBO, you have the videos and the emails that drip out when you send your blast to your database.
Exactly.
When they go out, your 2 videos a month through viral marketing run through Infusionsoft, and then when people click those links, when the links are clicked, you're notified. You get a report when people click links, so you can follow up. So it prioritizes your phone calls. That's what's making you more efficient, Monica.
Exactly. So here's our Facebook page. I don't think I need to spend a lot of time on Facebook. I think everyone knows about Facebook. I do believe that the majority of people are not utilizing Facebook efficiently from a business standpoint. Frank's company, Viral Marketing, it's getviral.com for you guys, can really, really help in that regard. There's a lot of stuff you can do on Facebook that is also dirt cheap and highly effective. But everybody who's a successful realtor should have a really, really good Facebook business page, and you should get your sphere and anybody in it to, at least be aware of it. You don't have to necessarily get them to like it, but at least make them aware of it. Monica and I also use Twitter. I don't get a lot of business off of Twitter, but we do put a lot of stuff on Twitter, and we do have, as you can see, we don't have a lot of followers. Actually, we had a lot of followers, but I just switched this over from another personal Monica Diaz Twitter feed. This is a new feed that we created once our website went live. As Frank said, our Zillow profile is very strong. I have a lot. I could talk all day about Zillow and Trulia. As you guys, most of you guys are aware, Trulia, or I think we call it now Twillo or Willulia, or whatever they are. Julia. So whatever they are now is going to be a behemoth. Just one thing to think about with Trulia and Zillow, they have 125 million unique visitors monthly, which if you take the population of the United States right now, which is listed at 319 million, which of course is probably 350 with illegals. I mean, pretty much they have 30% of the United States population at any given time that is interested in real estate. So they are a behemoth, and they are going to be a force to be reckoned with. This is our blog. Also, we used to have our blog run through Frank's site, Get Viral, which is kind of dead now. I could show it to you, but it's not updated. It still has old Century 21 logos on it.
You built an amazingly new WordPress site here. We put the content on here.
Right. Yeah, so you can see here through here that we run our videos, and then we obviously do everything in text, and we deep link it, so that it gets pushed out on the search engines. But we do a really good job. And honestly, all of our video stuff is produced. I have a friend that does a lot of Hollywood stuff, and he works for me on the side to produce our videos. So we don't have like average videos that most people do. But Frank's company will build videos for any realtor starting out, and they are so beneficial and so needed. I mean, you have to put videos out there. If I showed you guys the tech and talked about the research about videos.
I remember we met Jay. We went over this website a lot, and I just want to drive home anyone watching this. There's a few very key things here. The logo's strong on the upper left. The phone number is very clear how to connect with you. You're using the same picture of you and Monica everywhere for consistent branding online.
Right.
And then I just love the client reviews and how you have links to all the different sites where you have your reviews.
Yep.
It's incredible.
And if you scroll down, you can see that we really try to focus that we're universally rated 5 stars, and that don't listen to us see what our clients say. But yeah, I mean we don't have to talk about that. I think the majority of people, agents today, especially in California, know that. But I mean, guys, there's nothing more important today than your online reputation. Honestly, nothing. Everybody searches you, and it's only going to get stronger.
Right.
Because the millennial generation doesn't have any loyalty. All they care about is what they read about you online. It's true. Let me see, where's our Google? I wanted to show you our video page. I think you showed them, right? So here's our, this is our YouTube page with all of our videos. Again, guys, YouTube video specifically, Monica and I'm not showing you any right now, but Monica and I do a virtual listing for every single house that we list, and we put the video on, we throw them on Facebook, we roll them around. Hold on, let me show them real quick here.
Let me ask you something, Monica. When you go on a listing appointment, when you talk about doing videos and the way you're marketing that listing, does that pretty much get you the listing every single time?
I don't think that's necessarily the only thing, but I think it's definitely part of the reason why, because people want to have exposure. I mean, I think most people are educated enough to know that the maximum exposure is going to get you the most amount of money. And so when they see that, and they see that we're willing to do a little more than what some of the typical agents are willing to do, and I mean, I think it comes down to, professionalism, communication. There's so much more involved, but exposure is huge when you're selling a house. I mean, it's somebody's, not the largest, or it could be the largest, but one of their largest assets that they have, and they want to make sure that they're getting proper exposure, and I think that's part of it.
Got it.
Yeah, video is enormous. In today's day and age, the majority of people when they go online, that's what they're engaging. That's what they're attracted to. The average attention span is nothing now. I mean, you get like 30 or 40 seconds to really engage somebody. So video.
Okay, let's change the screen you're on. I'm looking at myself versus you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Frank, you like to look at yourself. Let's admit it.
There we go.
Sorry about that. There we go. So anyway, I was just playing a video, but video is huge, and Frank can talk more about this himself than I can, but I mean, it doesn't cost a lot of money to do a video. I mean, we all have cell phones. We can all turn our screen around and do a video, but putting these videos online and introducing your brand to people, obviously yourself if you're a starting agent versus a team, it's so instrumental and so important to be able to position yourself with video and engage people with video.
So let's kind of turn this around and take everything that you're doing and kind of frame it within the models of the KW system.
Sure.
All right. So there's 4 models. We have the budget model, we have the lead generation model, we have the economic model, and the organizational model. I got them all on top of my head.
Good job.
So, I know. I feel pretty proud of myself about that.
Hey!
All right. So let's talk about organizationally and where you plan to head. Where you are now, so it's just you two right now. Where do you plan ahead for hiring? Let's talk about that strategy.
Okay, Monica, I'll start, but just chime in. We actually have 2 buyer's agents right now. We have Justin Lopez, who I'm sure is watching on this call right now, who's absolutely phenomenal. He's a young, aggressive, very intelligent, super sharp. He's completely on his own. And then we also have a new gal, Maureen Belanca, who's just starting with us as a brand new agent. And then we do have an assistant. And as Monica likes to say, one of the things that I really focused and emphasized when we got together was, collaborating with like-minded people, from a networking perspective. We have an amazing lending group that we work with that we pretty much refer all of our business, and they're amazing, and it's American Financial Network. And then we also work with a really awesome escrow company. So
professional, very, very professional.
So where we're going with it, though, in terms of the Keller Williams model, you could kind of think of us right now as like between a 4th and a 5th level. We need a dedicated listing, which is what you're going to be, and then eventually to have like a listing or a listing, whatever you call them, a dedicated listing appointment. Yeah, a listing specialist.
And you're going to split those 2 up, where you're going to have someone full-time making dedicated prospecting calls that sends the leads over to listing agent to qualify, set the appointment, and get the listing.
Exactly.
So it sounds like, just from, meeting with you, Jay and Monica, last, maybe a couple days ago, we were consulting on the organizational model. We talked about that you guys were pretty much on the 4th level, and you're now in a place where you want to move into the 5th level and really start looking for those, talent out there.
Right.
So, looking for a buyer's agent and looking for a lead listing specialist is definitely someone that you need on your team at this time.
Absolutely.
That's correct. We just had an interview yesterday, right, Monica?
And what I liked about Keller Williams and what I like about it is that when we went to the franchise systems operations, we noticed that the majority of people there, and we of course didn't speak to everyone, but these people are taught how to run their real estate business as a business. And I mean, people are so excited and pumped about moving in these levels, and they're so knowledgeable. And it's not just about closing deals. It's about how do we make it so that we're a strong business and we have profit. It's about profit. How do we become profitable? So there's so many things involved in Keller Williams that I loved, because it's not just about getting deals and closing them. It's about how to make your business an actual business. Profitable.
Right. And with that being said, it's really implementing the systems, right? Creating a strong platform, a strong database platform, implementing systems, implementing marketing systems, and then, being able to expand and start creating the organizational model, which is the team.
Right. And there's constant education revolving around that, which is great, because I know I have a tendency of forgetting, and so having the constant reminder, okay, well, here's this class is going on, this is going on, this is what we can do. There's constant educational programs out there that are offered to us, and I don't know very many companies that offer that in real estate. In real estate, it's more about, you know what, you're on your own, do your thing, and good luck.
Produce.
And, yeah, produce. If you don't produce, we're not talking to you. Sorry. But this is about growing, building, being profitable. And I think what's cool about it, too, it's like mindset. Mindset is huge in this business.
That's right.
And, it's great to know your scripts, but who wants to talk to a robot? Nobody wants to talk to a robot. So learn your scripts and make them your own. And then also mindset. Know who you are, know what you have to offer, and create the best profitable business out there.
Let's talk about the budget model a little bit, just lightly.
Sure.
Because one of the challenges when you start running your business as a business is you notice when you start, your net goes down. I mean, under the producer model, where you're doing all the work and you have an assistant, you're probably netting, if you're lucky, 70% of what you take home. But as you start taking all this marketing, as you start hiring people, you notice your net as a percentage of your GCI tends to go down. I know in the MREA book, if you're paying everyone like they're supposed to and you're spending 10% of your GCI on marketing, whatever it may be, you're netting about 30%. Can you tell us, Monica, about the gut check you had to have taking on all these expenses that you weren't necessarily comfortable in the beginning? And talk to us about how the net as a percentage may be lower?
Blind faith.
No, that's not true. Before you answer that question, there was some fat that we had to cut, but I won't mention specifically.
Yeah, honestly though, it came down to just knowing that there's blind faith and putting it out there, and then just honest reassess, like going back and you've got to look at things. How's it working? How's this applying to where we are now? I mean, Jay and I will constantly look at the business and see things that are working and aren't working. You gotta look at it. You gotta see what's working, and whatever's not, you let it go. But you got to give it time. You can't just start something for a couple weeks and then let it go because it's not working. Sometimes it's the momentum effect. It's just like prospecting. You keep calling, you keep calling, you keep calling, you keep calling, and all of a sudden you get somebody who wants to do something. So it's the same thing. You got to implement, and you got to give it time, and you got to let the wheels keep on turning.
Do you have any budget targets that you have, or any percentages, like you keep your expenses in a certain range, Jay?
Yeah, we spend a little bit more than 10%. We spend probably about 13%. Right now, like this year, we're spending about 13% on marketing. Last year, I spent about 18%, to grow Monica's brand the way I needed to. Mm-hmm. I can tell you this, and my mind is changing a little bit now ever since Zulia just occurred, but by the end of this year, our goal was to spend nothing on Trulia and Zillow. And as you know, and anybody who knows, my mindset when I met with you and we did a seminar or webinar a year ago, I was huge on those companies because they have the most amount of eyeballs, most visibility. You need to position yourself there. But once you get your database, built to the level that you need it to be built and have your reputation precede you, you can spend a lot less money on marketing and still be actively prospecting on a regular basis. Now, I'm not saying that the average person who doesn't have the knowledge of digital marketing that I have can do that, but what I'm saying is that you can easily uphold the Keller Williams model, and I would even say possibly as a producing team at 4th or 5th level, doing less than 10% if you're really, really smart.
Okay. What about...
I'm sorry. I just want to jump in here. We did discuss this the other day as well, Jay and Monica. Your expenses at this time, I know you guys are shaving some things off and you're still creating, spending some money for the marketing that you're creating. But, your two biggest costs from the MREA, Gary talks about, are your salaries once you start building your team, and the lead generation cost, which is the marketing, right? We can throw in marketing in that. And it lies around 10%. 9.2% to be exact in the book, but about 10% when it comes to your cost of lead generation, and then once you start building your teams to have to stick around 12%.
Right.
12%. So one of the nice things about Keller Williams is that when you're a producer, a top producer, or someone who can sell about $2.5 million in sales volume or $3 million in sales volume, you get the opportunity with Keller to really gain 100% of your commission. And what we consult you on, and what we encourage the agents on, is to go ahead and invest 30% of that money back into your business. And that's how you start growing the actual business, is to be able to take that extra income, take a percentage of it, and reinvest it back to building. So that's one of the models that we use, and we help Monica and Jay. Let's analyze, let's assess the business, let's see what's happening here. How can we get that other, lead buyer specialist?
Great. Okay, so we covered, let's talk about economic. In the email that we sent out, we talked about certain numbers or contacts you have to hit. And you touched on that earlier, Monica, how it's not about that anymore almost.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have certain numbers, but do you still have certain, like, how many listing appointments or how many people you speak to? I would assume that you used to have to talk to 50 people to get an appointment. Now it's like 5.
Right.
Can you share maybe your numbers now?
I used to have to speak to a lot more people in order to get an appointment. Interestingly enough, and the cool thing about it is, so you know how you figure out what's the percentage of appointments that you actually get, like not even get, but listings that you get per appointment. And I think before I was like at 70%, and now honestly, like Jay and I, when we go on appointments, we pretty much, there's only been maybe 2 or 3 that we haven't gotten. So it's great. You know, I think, what would you say the percentage is, Jay, of appointments that we get? Like, is it 90%?
Are you talking about when we actually meet with somebody?
Yeah, when we meet with someone.
I mean, it's higher than that. I mean, how many? I'm not doing the math in my head right now, but we've only had 2 people that didn't actually sign with us in the appointments that we've had in the last 2 years. And one of them was last night, but they're going to sign with us on Monday. So I mean, we have an amazing presentation. That could be a whole other thing in and of itself. But but back to what you were saying, Frank. I mean, Monica actually spends a good portion of her day now combing, if you can believe this, combing the MLS looking for properties for our investors. So, you know, in the 4 or 5 hours a day that she used to prospect, now she searches through the MLS and looks for deals for some of the bigger investors that we work with. So, but she still probably actively talks to 40 to 50 people a week in our database that need to be talked to. But she's not like, okay, these 3 hours of every day I'm on my headset and I'm calling these people. So it's...
How many listing appointments are you taking a month, roughly?
A month? Appointments probably right now between 8 and 10.
And you pretty much land all of them, I would assume.
Almost all, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got.
I mean, we could get more. I'm sure we could get more if we actively prospected, but as you know, we have a life outside of real estate, which we won't get into.
Tell them how many kids you've got. Tell them how many kids you've got.
Well, actually, if you guys really do want to share with that, we have 5 children. I have 2 biologicals, and Monica has 3. Monica is the most amazing woman and mother ever. She's taken in my 6-year-old and 4-year-old. And is pretty much now a full-time active mom, and then she has her own 12-year-old daughter that lives with us every other week. So we have a really busy life. We actually, outside of real estate, also have a health and fitness blog that is blowing up beyond all control.
People have to see this blog. What's the address, Jay? You're gonna see Jay with his shirt off.
Yay!
Where is it?
It's fabfitover40.com.
It's really good, Jay.
It is. Really, it's actually something it's honestly something that that is going to be a very nice little side hustle, if you would call it, at some point in time in our life.
I'll put that here in the showcase.
Yeah, sure. The goal. I mean, honestly, the goal is, you know, going back to the Keller Williams model is leveraging time. I think that the one thing that I've done for Monica's business, and obviously it's our business now, is to dramatically increase life, to improve quality of life, to give time back to Monica where she's not a basket case anymore. You know, every night we have an hour and a half to spend with our children, to read to them, to sit down in front of the television or whatever it is we do. Actually, we rarely watch TV, but we will sometimes watch a movie with them. Frozen is on a permanent rerun in our house. But but realistically, that's the name of the game, right? I mean, life is, like Monica said, meant to be lived. You got to have a positive mindset, and you know, the real estate business is a grind. And if you don't, you know, have a life outside of real estate, you're not going to last very long in real estate.
Right. Yeah. Cool. You got to enjoy the moments, every moment. And I realize kids grow up fast. You know, my oldest is 18. He's kind of on his own, I guess you could say, a little. And then you know, my 16-year-old, they're all growing. They're growing so fast. And if you don't invest the time in your kids, at least to some degree, they're gone. They're out. So.
Well, let's take the last 5 minutes. If there's any questions, go ahead and answer. Go ahead and ask them here on the Q&A. But Wendy, why don't you talk about the steps someone would take if they wanted to get involved with KW, if they're a current agent, or if they're not in real estate and they're considering a career in real estate agent, what would happen?
Absolutely, thank you. Yeah, so, you know, if you're not in real estate and are, you know, curious to get into the real estate business, you know, give me a call. Basically, you come to one of my career seminars, and I usually hold them every other Wednesday and they're from like 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, and I give you an entire presentation on what it's going to take, how much it's going to cost in order to get your license, and I break down, the value proposition of our training, how we have an amazing training program called Ignite, and we walk you through that when you join Keller Williams. So I give a really good presentation, and everyone walks out of there with an idea of cost, the steps to getting your license, and what it's going to look like to come with Keller Williams and get the training. And number two, if you're an agent who already has your license and is experienced, you can email me or you can call me, and I can set up a one-on-one with you. We can talk about your business, and it's really just about getting to know you, getting to know what you need, and understanding what you want and understanding your goals. That's really like my approach when I meet with any agent. And sometimes it's not even a match. Sometimes Keller Williams might not be a match. But I always love to meet new people, and the reason why I do what I do and the reason why I love Keller Williams is because I do get to change people's lives. Monica and Jay, you just heard it. They came to Keller Williams, and I get to consult with them, and we get to really build something together. And it's not for me, it's for them and their family. And that's really rewarding for me.
Yeah. And honestly, it's for the community as well, because there's nothing like Keller Williams out here, at least in the Covina area. So it may be for us, it may be for the people that work there, but also the community is going to benefit tremendously, because we're going to actually contribute and be a part of the community, which I think is phenomenal.
It's all about giving back. Yeah. What you give out, what you give, you receive it 10 times in return.
Yep.
So if anybody is interested in, having an opportunity to be on a team, you can also email me, and I can answer any questions. And it is a process. Just because, we don't just bring anybody on. You got to be a match, and you meet with me, and I'll be very straightforward with you whether it's the right direction for you or it's not.
Great.
So give me a call, 310-480-5660.
And just real quick, I just wanted to say that we're going to make this a regular and permanent show. Right now, it's going to be monthly, once a month. But the goal is to eventually take this to twice a month. And Wendy and Frank can attest to this. Our goal is not just to always push the Keller Williams model, but it's to interview like-minded people, very successful agents. We really want to make this like something that people look forward to, so that we can go to a $60 or $70 million production team realtor who doesn't even work for Keller Williams, who can get a chance to come and share what they do.
Yeah.
So the whole entire real estate community can benefit from the knowledge and success that they have.
Coming from a place of abundance. There's business for everybody, and if we share with one another what everybody respectively is doing to build their team, their business, their communities, wow, I mean, what an improvement we can make even this world.
Yeah, so if anybody's interested in having an exclusive interview like this on one of the Google Hangouts that we're going to be holding, please email me, and we can talk about what your expertises are, and let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone, thanks a lot for the great hangout today. We're going to go ahead and stop it there, and the replay will be available up on this page. Mm-hmm. And we'll also send out a replay email in case anyone was unable to make the event today with a summary of what was covered.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Frank.
Thank you.